Testing desire. For people in relationships or people who are just dating, I think it's really important to know what is your desire level towards that other person and how much desire does that other person have for you. Because sometimes people are in relationships or they're dating because they don't want to be alone. They want to manipulate someone, use a guy for his money, use a woman for sex, avoid loneliness or boredom. And then I think oftentimes people stay in relationships because they're afraid to challenge the status quo. They're afraid to say, I just don't feel that into you anymore. I would rather just hang out with my friends. I'd rather date other people. And so this whole concept of desire has been like in my mind. I've been thinking about it. I would love to see your comments too. And one thing, so I'll just give you some examples of how it came up for me that I was thinking about it. So one occurred, I was talking to somebody, so, well, there's someone I've been seeing, sort of dating. He's much younger than I am, so because he's much younger than I am, he makes less money than I do. And so, a part of me feels like, well, maybe I should pay if we go out to a nice restaurant. But then I changed my mind. I'm like, I was trying to imagine going to a restaurant with the guy and then I'm paying, and then everyone's going to think, oh, well, he's just with her because she's paying, or she's the sugar mama. So I decided I didn't want to do that. We should just go Dutch, or we should go somewhere where he can afford to pay for me. But that whole exercise of going through that made me realize, I wonder if that's how men feel. I wonder if that's how men feel. Like, how does a man know that this woman would go out with him if he wasn't paying for her or if he was broke? Okay, so I think that's a desire test to do for a woman. For a woman to think, would I date this guy? Say he has whatever money and status he has, but would I date this guy if I had to drive an hour to see him? If we were just having a picnic at the beach and he wasn't taking me out or buying me anything, would I still want to date this guy if he lost his job and was broke? Not broke and depressed, trying to climb his way back up, but would I date this guy if he were broke? Would I date this guy if he were taking me to a picnic on the beach? There is a desire test. And I know some men take it even further by making the first date just a coffee date or asking the woman to meet him halfway as a desire test. I wouldn't necessarily do that on the first date if I were a guy, because women do like men to show a little effort. Because that shows the woman that the man has desire for me if he's willing. I think both people kind of have to prove the depth of their desire. Is this just like a convenience date, or are you really excited to meet me? So that's one that I think men can use, is take the woman on dates where you're not spending any money and see if she still wants to go out with you. And in my escort business, this comes up too, because I was supposed to do a photo shoot with someone this morning, someone I've seen before, and he did a last minute cancellation an hour before because he's around some people that he wants to make sure he's not exposed to any people. He wants to socially distance because of some situations in his life. And so he just wants to socially distance, which is fine. It's fine for people to change their mind. It's fine to communicate it. It's all good. But the point I'm making here is when he talked to me a couple days ago about doing this, he was all for it. And yesterday he was all for it. And so I think this goes to the desire part. Like, he really wanted to do it, so the desire was high. But desire also needs an action that goes with it. And again, the woman might desire to go out with you, but if you don't spend the money on her, she might not want to. So this guy wanted to come over, but when it came right down to it, he didn't really want to come over, and he wasn't in tune with his level of desire. He was just like, this sounds really good, I want to film with her. But if I would have asked him for a deposit, I think he would have had to tap more into how serious he was about it and questioned how serious he was. I think that people don't always know the depth of their desire, and that's why it's good in business and in personal lives to give people desire tests. I'm just making this up as I go along. Desire tests. And I think that's what the deposit does, because I've had men contact me, they want to see me, but then when I ask, so they have this idea, they want to see the escort, but then their desire is high. But I think there's another component you need. You need desire, and you need something else in you that makes you want to take action. So a guy might scroll through the escort ads and be like, oh yeah, I definitely want to get with these women, contact them. But then when the woman says, when do you want to see me? Now it's too real. Now he backs off. Or I need a deposit, and now it's too real, and he backs off. So he has the desire, but he doesn't have a willingness or that motivation to implement the desire and put the desire into action. So I think we need two things. We need desire, and we need the motivation to put the desire into action. So in the case of testing how much a man is into me, I think what I like to do is I like to see that he's interested in me for other than sex before I have sex with him. But often I think men don't know what their desire is for the woman until they've had their release. Sometimes it's good to just fuck the guy, and then after he comes, you see whether he wants to stay and cuddle and talk and ask you what you're doing tonight or when he can see you again. Or he feels like, I just want to get out of here. And I think the man won't really know how he feels because his sexual desire was so strong. He didn't know about his personal desire for you. I think this little thing about desire is really good. And, I want to go off on another tangent here. Maybe I'll make a separate video on that, about people who are abstinent until marriage. I'm going to make a separate video on that. I think that people often think that desire has to be like this out of control lust feeling, but it doesn't. It doesn't have to have those elements of longing or unmet longing or whatever. It can just be, this is something I desire and I'm going to do it. It's kind of like when you're hungry, you desire food and you go get something to eat. But with people in relationships, I think people can lose that desire for each other and then not talk about it. And I think that could be one reason I like younger men, is because so much in my marriage, I just felt so fucking trapped, And when I'm around older men and think about being in a relationship, I just immediately, I feel trapped. I feel suffocated. And I probably did that to myself by having certain beliefs about marriage or how I should be in my marriage, and, things you can't say in bed because you're married. You would never say this to your husband or to your wife, or you've never said this before, so you can never say it now. And, we're married, I shouldn't want to fuck anyone else. And, because we're married, I can't say this or I can't do that. And I can't let you know that I lost attraction for you. And so there's so many stifling things that come up in a relationship. I don't desire you anymore. You're not supposed to say these things, but they're all there. A little bit of rambling about the concepts of desire and feeling trapped in marriage, because people's desires do change. I think a really cool thing to do would be for couples to have like a desire meter on the refrigerator and just check in every day, like, how much do I desire you, and just move the meter, And I think that's really good feedback for the partner, because the partner can be like, what did I do to cause you to desire me less, or what's going on with you, so that people don't have to always act like, so fakey. And a lot of times people don't even know they're being fakey. They just go through the rote movements. Yeah, so thanks for watching my video.